Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Can you hear me well? All right. Well, Matt, once again, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you all today. As Matt mentioned, I'm Will Wright. I am a professional civil engineer by trade. I work for Michael Baker International, where I lead up our rail, transit, and construction services division here in North Florida, as well as South Florida. I like to call myself a jack of all trade, master of none. And so that just means that over the 18 years of my career, I've been exposed to quite a bit in the industry. I've had the pleasure of collaborating with several local agencies as well as foreign agencies, contractors, architects, planners, and engineers alike. So that's just my background in short and sweet. But before I got here, you may wonder, why did I choose engineering, right? Well, I was lucky enough to have an older sister who was a chemical engineer who went to Georgia Tech. Shout out to you, Matt. Ramblin' Wreck, right? So she took me to some of her chemical engineering classes where I was able to sit in, listen, and learn about chemical engineering. And so while I realized that my forte was not necessarily chemical engineering, engineering in itself was something that I was motivated and driven towards, right? And so growing up, my childhood dream was to be an architect. But here I am today as a civil engineer based upon that background and sitting with my sister. And so before I move on, by show of hands, the built environment, how many people in here understand what that is? Does everybody here know what a built environment is? You do? Okay, so we got a few people in here that know. So simply that, it's a built environment. When I first heard the term, I said to myself, built environment, what is that? What does it mean, right? Simply put, it's exactly what that term says. Excuse me, it's an environment that we want. It includes all the things that we are passionate about, right? And so I'll tell you that a built environment touches on all aspects of our lives. It's from the bridges and transportation options to the buildings that we work and live in, and distribution systems that we provide us with water, electricity, and the social areas that we flock to. And so just a few quick stats for you. The state of Florida has historically had a higher rate of pedestrian fatalities compared to other states, right? In 2023 alone, Duval County had 47 fatalities and 67 serious injuries. Further to this, conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, and obesity are a significant health concern here in the North Florida area. This is why project initiatives such as the Emerald Trail will be key to mitigating these concerns. It will also generate so much more for the city of Jacksonville. The Emerald Trail project, for those of you who may not be familiar with it, is a 30-mile multi-segment bicycle and pedestrian multi-use path, and it also holds green spaces to connect neighborhoods, and other benefits will include connecting and linking various parts of Jacksonville. Residents will also enjoy green spaces and parks, and then also community engagement will continue to improve, right? And so these will provide safer environments for our cyclists, our pedestrians, as well as our runners, and improving overall health to the Jacksonville area. I'll add that on yesterday, $147 million was awarded to the Jacksonville Transportation Authority for 15 miles of the Emerald Trail segment. This is a huge milestone for the city of Jacksonville. And so I'll tell you, I'm excited about that. I'm stoked. I'm ready to use the Emerald Trail myself, and so more to come there. According to the U.S. Census, the city of Jacksonville is one of the fastest growing cities in the U.S. Going into 2023, we learned that the city of Jacksonville was the 6th fastest growing city in all of the U.S. For a city growing at this record pace, there are several actions that need to take place to maintain this growth. Recently, Mayor Donna Deegan, CIP program, has outlined funding to continue support of this record-setting growth here on the First Coast. More recently, announcements made that include improvements to the TIAA Bank Jaguar Stadium, along with the shipyards projects, will bring shops, entertainment, and overall economic employment opportunities to the First Coast area. A key in making all of this happen and come together will be the electrification infrastructure. And so when we say electrification infrastructure, a lot of us think of infrastructure in the sense of roads and bridges. But I'll tell you, for cities such as Jacksonville, with what we have on the horizon, the electrical infrastructure, and more specifically, the need to have more transformers to support the growth will be vital for our community as we continue to grow in this area. When we talk about the built environment and the growth of our city, the urban core is something that we think about naturally, right? But also you have to consider the suburban parts of that and the connectivity that goes along with it. And so I'll tell you that FDOT, the City of Jacksonville, and the JTA have CIP programs upcoming with billions of dollars that will be pumped into the City of Jacksonville that will include infrastructure improvements as well as transportation systems that will enhance and grow our networks. Agencies such as the FDOT are actively exploring emerging technologies such as connected autonomous vehicles, mobility as a service, and then also, but lastly, drones that will be used for various infrastructure and inspection and then emergency response. And then at the local level, the JTA. The JTA has similar initiatives and will also support the DOT through the use of their U2C program, which is being rolled out right here on May Street, and then also through the use of their MyJTA app. Also, the City of Jacksonville's plans include several improvements to the local collector roads, as well as some of the arterial improvements that will be upcoming as well. So the built environment is not just an American dream. I had the pleasure of living and working overseas in Saudi Arabia, where I worked in Riyadh, the capital city. And I will tell you that here I was able to lead a team of engineers and architects alike, where we completed some of the nicest transit stations that you'll see around the world. It's no secret that the rest of the world loves soccer, or as they call it, football, across the pond. And so the King and the Crown Prince have set out on a strategic vision to ensure that they are in the right position to be awarded the 2034 World Cup. And so this includes not only a unique environment where the residents who are there will have access to $25 billion worth of light rail infrastructure improvements. This also includes BRT shelters and stops, as well as shared use paths, cycling infrastructure, and the list goes on and on. Additionally, this is only the tip of the iceberg, as over $80 billion is being spent on entertainment, sports, and culture city in Riyadh, which will include a Six Flags, a Formula One racetrack, and also a performing arts center. One can say this is truly a built environment. So you might be wondering, why is this important to me, and why should it be important to you, and what's next? I often tell my non-Duval family and friends that if Jacksonville and Duval was a stock, I'd buy it. And that's not financial advice, but that's just my honest opinion. And so with the leadership that this city has in place across the various municipalities and sectors, along with what we know and what I know is coming to store, this is a place that you want to be. But these leaders, they can't do it alone, right? So we must remain vigilant. We must stay involved in the decisions that will shape this city and our built environment. Thank you again for your time today, and I hope you enjoyed today's presentation. Matt, thank you.